Yo, what's good, Steve?
Everything's
My
good.
guy.
Listen, guys, this is our first time doing this live situation on here, so bear with us. Everybody on? Can we get a thumbs up? Can everybody hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm just not sure if anybody else can hear. Yo, what's good, Steve? All right, there
What's
we go.
good? Okay, you can hear us?
Yeah, we solid.
All right, shoot, champ, just go ahead with the introduction.
All right, what's good, y'all? We wanted to get on and have an emergency live with you guys. Um, we're gonna call this the crypto crash and HBAR network outage. Um, Again, this is our very first time being on live with YouTube, so we're gonna probably start doing these. The clarity is a little better and everything too, but we just wanted to jump on and talk to you guys about what's going on right now because this is super, super important. So me and Steve, we both got some gems for y'all. Did you want to start, Steve, or you want me to go ahead and take it?
No, you go ahead and take it. You can start with Silvergate,
Okay.
the crypto crash.
Um. So listen, guys. This Silvergate Bank situation. This is really wild. Uh, so just for those of you who do not know, Silvergate is a U.S. bank that deals with businesses in the cryptocurrency industry. They got a bunch of heavy hitters that's on their clientele list. So you got Coinbase, you have Kraken, they had ties to FTX, um, Paxos, and a couple others. Back in February 2nd, they had a criminal investigation probe where they were looking into Silvergate hosting of accounts that was tied to FTX and Alameda. So from that point forward, that's when really they started to push the first domino over, um, as well as the interest rates rising, other things going on. There were other factors that were contributing to this, but just so you guys can pinpoint players and know what exactly happened, um, was my man named George Soros. George Soros recently shorted the stock of Silvergate, right, which is the bank. He shorted it because he knew that there was a liquidity issue that was going on with that it was undergoing. So when FTX had all of the liquidity issues that was going on, they were pilfering from the accounts. It started to trickle into other industries. So you started to see other players actually go under, all the way down to stable coins. Fast forward the last couple of days, it's been over. This was I think March 2nd. It was a nearly 50% fall of Silvergate shares over that FTX exposure. So George Soros was actually 100% correct. He knew what was coming. He positioned himself correctly, and it just caused the domino effect. So now here we are now.
And
Silvergate.
and champ, just because we kind of jumped into Silvergate, so for our students who know, but there's probably some people that are watching or that are gonna watch that don't know what Silvergate is. If you want to just touch on, you know, who their clients are and what they and who they service.
Yeah. So I did touch on that when we first started, but just so I run it back so everybody can make sure they hear it. So Silvergate is a United States corporation, right? It's a U.S. bank, and what they do is they service all infrastructure and innovative financial services within the cryptocurrency industry. So they got players like Coinbase, FTX, Kraken, Paxos, and there's a couple others. I'm pretty sure I'm probably missing one or two. But they have some real big players, and what they do is they specialize in crypto businesses. They strive to just offer. They're basically a bank for crypto, right? So when everybody needs to access capital, these exchanges can utilize Silvergate as a method or a provider for that service. And it's just been downhill ever since the FTX Alameda situation.
And then
So
just to touch on that, they realized the loss of over $886 million.
$1 million, yeah,
Right. So once they took that loss from the FTX situation, they started selling their securities off. Right. this is the part that you guys have to kind of connect with, right? So when you start to sell your securities, all you have left now, your deposits fall once you sell your securities. The other issue is with the rising inflation rates, these securities that these banks are holding, all banks, they're losing. They're at negatives now. So when you start to sell, you're actually selling at a loss. Understand? When customers or investors start to get wind of this, they short your stock, right? And then they pull their money out the bank, which then creates what's that called, champ?
A bank run.
This is where we're at right now. And guys, bank runs don't start with the general public, right? Because we're all busy doing a whole bunch of shit, right? It's not until the final day when everybody's scrambling. That's when the masses, right? But at that point, the elite have already taken their stuff out. So we're positioning you guys with information of what's happening with the elite money first. First in, first out, right? So we're the last ones to get crushed because we're the last ones to actually enter. All right, go ahead.
So I just want to one of these things I want you guys to touch on is, well, I wanted to touch on with you guys is back last month, February 15th, I believe it was. There was an article that had came out from Market Beat, and it was talking about George Soros' short position. You know, is this even possible? Is this something that should have been done? You know, why did he do it? So just so you guys understand, whenever it's something coming from the top down, George Soros he's a legendary trader, right? He's a hedge fund guy. You know, I'm not going to touch on the other side of this guy, but you know, just for the financial side, he's a legend, right, in this space. And he bet completely against Silvergate. When he did that, he set a short interest position of 64%. So he basically created the short squeeze that everybody else followed. And this was a month ago. So if we're just now starting to see the negative effects of what happened a month ago, he positioned this, which means he had insight on something before then to even enter in that short position. This is what we try to tell you guys. As long as you have access to viable and reliable information, you'll be able to position yourself correctly. Because when these guys move, they have so much of a hammer financially. It causes these swings and it negatively affects the retail every time because we're the last to get information. When we do get information, it's normally filtered and it's coming from, you know, news sources and things like that. And they're just picking and choosing. They're basically cherry picking.
Well, they're controlled by George Soros.
Right.
Right. And then you have guys like Kramer who are telling you buy in, buy in, buy in. Right. This was the sentiment this week. Buy in. So they were already preparing people for this massive short.
Horrible, man.
Can't make it.
And you're right. You can't make this up. And if you look at it, just the previous performance of Silvergate and how it was performing, you were seeing. If you guys look at the chart, we're not on Zoom like how we used to do, but there's a chart, right? I was looking at the stock price over, I want to say the last 3 years, from 2020. You can see these hockey puck green candles. I mean, they're huge, and they continue to operate like this. So these guys were just basically manipulating the stock from before. But when you start to see these big players come into the industry, and these guys are billionaires, so one call from them, it literally sets off a cascade where everybody else follows the moves, because sometimes the best way to do something is just to simply follow the money. So if you see a guy like George Soros come in the game and you see him put in the short, what's the sentiment? Everybody else is going to follow. So now you have multiple billionaires and multimillionaires coming in with these big financial short positions, and they create a short squeeze. But on top of that, this is icing on the cake. You had these guys come in with all of this money, but you still had these exchanges that were going through bank runs and liquidity crisis. So because these guys were the bank for these crypto companies and these exchanges, even down to providing funds for these stable coins to even be in existence. Think about it. It's literally a table with screws loose. One tap, one wrong move, it all comes crumbling down. So this is why today we wanted to make sure you guys knew what was going on, why it was happening, and how it's going to affect everything. We've already told you guys about bank runs. We told you guys about the liquidity crisis. But now you're starting to see the actual banks, the actual funding businesses that are that have the money for these crypto companies, they're all going under. And when you see these big corporations, you just had Coinbase, you just had FTX, you just had Paxos, you had Circle, which is the USDC issuer. All of these guys just removed themselves from under the gamut of Silvergate because of what was going on. So this short squeeze that was happening, this was almost inevitable to cause a crash. And you see it now. You're starting to see Bitcoin retraces back down to the 19,000 range, and it's going to go lower. On top of it, today is the first day that creditors are going to start getting their money back, their Bitcoins back from the Mt. Gox situation from 2014. So as you see, there's multiple layers that keeps contributing to why the industry performs like it's performing. On top of it being a quote unquote crypto winter. So this is nasty work, and we're definitely going down. It's going to be some more fall.
And listen, the timing with Champ mentioning the Mt. Gox this week, right? Because we've already entered short positions that have all been closed. 50%, 75%. We were killing it this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the timing of it couldn't be any more perfect. This isn't a perfect storm, guys. This is orchestrated, right? Because of all the weeks for things to happen, that Alameda situation happened in January. Of all the weeks, guys, just think about why they picked now, right? So this is really to suppress the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin will drop to as low as I'd call probably like 15 on this one here.
Mm-hmm.
Once they start distributing, because the minute that somebody's getting back, and if no one knows that story, we'll probably shoot something else to explain it. That's not what we're here for. But there are investors that are going to have access to old Bitcoin from back in 14. Average entry was what, 800?
$800.
Right. So today you're going to get it at, and you got to think too. So if just a couple days ago you were going to distribute this thing, Bitcoin was up hovering over 25,000. Now all of a sudden you're about to distribute it, and it's a catalyst happens which crashes Bitcoin below 20,000. Y'all following? Most of these guys are investors that are going to get this Bitcoin back. With that average price, they're going to sell. There's going to be a massive sell-off. Not a complete sell-off, right? But if you waited to 14 and you have $1 million in your account right now from Bitcoin, are you not going to take back at least what you put into crypto? Because we've been in since 15. I've been patiently waiting. Never mind if I had my Bitcoin stolen. Now you're about to give me 100 Bitcoin? Oh, no, I'm cashing out.
I'm cashing out.
I'm cashing out. So that's what's happening right now. Now a second bank went under, Silicon Valley Bank, right? They're down 60%. Now what happened with Silicon Valley Bank? These guys just disclosed that they lost $1.8 billion, right? And they mentioned that they need to create a capital raise of about $2.25 billion. So what they do, they went to their investors and they told them, listen, once they realized the losses, they disclosed it. Now, the first thing the investor is going to do is they're going to jump ship. And that's exactly what happened. This is why they plummeted 60%.
Mm-hmm.
CEOs on the phone with the institutional guys saying, listen, do not pull your money out of the bank. We're just over here raising capital. Who is going to give you $2 billion right now in this climate?
Nobody.
So this sounds like the whole FTX thing all over again. When you have a liquidity crisis, and Binance or a big guy comes and says, hey, listen, I need my money back for whatever reason, and you can't pay it, now you have to disclose that you're illiquid, and you have to create a deal now. This is what Silicon Valley Bank is doing, guys. This is a top-down approach. This will hit damn near every lending institution or banking institution in the world, right? These ripple effects. We are going to feel the pain. Now, here's the difference. In 2008, they had the bailouts. There is no more bailouts. The government's not coming to the bank's rescue, right? And a lot of this, you got to understand the timing of this. If anybody's following the XRP, the Ripple case, that's presumably they're saying it should be coming to an end soon. Champ and I have always told you that the minute that case comes to an end, if Ripple pulls out the case and they win it, they have to create something so loud, right? That's going to have you paying attention in an opposite direction. So that way the Ripple win just kind of doesn't send ripple effects, right? No pun intended.
Right.
And I think we're here now, guys. I truly believe we're here right now. So you're seeing the big guys, the big investors are pulling out of these banks, right? So what makes you think that you're safe with your little bit of money? Now, what's a bail-in? A bail-in is a situation where they're just going to take the customer's money, right, when they're asking for it, and there's no recourse to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I can tell you there's no recourse? Here's one of my banks here, right, Key Bank. Explain to me how you can give a bank a some money, and in exchange they give you a debit card in order for you to manage your funds, and somehow you're getting paperwork on top of paperwork. I mean, pamphlets, bro, like half a book of disclosures. What are those disclosures saying? Has anybody ever read those disclosures? I started to go through my disclosures. Start going through it. You'll start to realize that the money's not yours inside the bank, guys. It could be used for emergency use. On top of
Wow.
them investing in whatever they want to invest in and only giving us what, quarter of a percent a year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not even partaking in the profit share. So now that everything is losing, FDIC insurance cannot cover anything over less than 2% of holdings that are in banks right now. So who are they paying out first? And
Big.
whose money are they gonna take first? Because they're gonna call up their friends, right, at this high level here, and say, "Hey guys, this is what's coming. You either gonna put more money in or put money on the sideline." I was just talking to my wife this morning. I said, "Listen, they do this every single time. When they create chaos in the world, they're able to pull their money out, park it wherever they want, right, and still come in the game and buy distressed assets." And what do I mean by that? When you can't pay your mortgage, when you're, when the dollar's down 30, 40, 50%, right? None of us are making any more money to keep up with inflation, right? So what do you do now? You have to cut back on, what are they telling us? I heard one report said, just skip breakfast. So now we're going to 2 meals a day, right? There's already a food shortage. So now, okay, so we're going to skip breakfast. Cool. There's still a food shortage. Price of food is up. Price of the dollar is down. Now the bank took your money. How do you eat?
How do you eat? Mm-hmm.
So we keep telling you guys, have a plan, have assets, have some cash laying around. If the lights went out, what would be your exchange, your means of exchange with currency? What would it be? Gold, silver, cash, right? If I went to the store and I had cash on me, listen, if the computers aren't working, let's transact. I can't transact with a debit card. It's not worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
We're here, guys. HBAR. We just had a
So
live about HBAR. I just was talking about this. I just purchased more HBAR. I'm sitting at dinner last night. Discord's going crazy. I look at my HBAR on my cold storage. It shows zero. Zero. Champ, take it away.
So, all right. So, just to be super, super clear, right? Your H bar is safe, right? If it's
But please make sure that they look, right, because we can't think that nothing was attacked.
right, absolutely,
Right. Ours is safe because we witnessed what you're about to
right,
tell us.
right. So, so let me clear that up. Everybody's H bar should be safe, right? There was an actual attack on the network, right? But what people are getting wrong is they believe that the entire mainnet is shut down, right? That's not the case. Back in 2020, the governing council set up nodes, and they all determined that they did a vote. They all determined that proxies would be an extra layer of security when it comes to accessing the mainnet in the event they ever experienced a DDoS attack. So because they were smart and they knew that these attacks were going on in cryptocurrency even before they formed the governing council, they just wanted to add an extra layer. That way they didn't delay the time when, if they came under attack, they wouldn't have to reach out to everybody, get votes, and it would just basically prolong the attack and more people would be negatively affected. So what they did was they set up the proxies, and just recently when they realized that there was an attack, there was something, what did they call it? They said that there was some anomalies that were occurring on the network. What they did was they realized it was an attack. Instead of them shutting off the entire network, the network still remains, but they shut off all the nodes and all the proxies to the mainnet. So right now, as we stand, The proxies are down, but the mainnet and the testnet are all fully operational. So they're still verifying transactions. They're still being added to the blockchain. Everything is smooth. What they're investigating is they're trying to figure out where the attacker entered through to get into the network, what was impacted, who was negatively infected, and when they shut down all the proxies in the nodes, that's another way where they can actually pinpoint who is going to be affected or where it originated from. So as of right now, the status is still down. They're still doing their investigation. But this is one of the things. The average person would check you check your account, right? You automatically go into panic mode because you look at your balance and you know that you have cryptocurrency there, but all of a sudden it says your balance is zero, right? And that's what a couple of us all experienced yesterday. So once Steve brought it to everybody's attention and they're like, hold on, like it wasn't really any panic. So we're definitely proud of you guys because that means you guys have kind of settled in. That mindset was key. So that was awesome. But we noticed that it said zero balance. Once it said zero balance, we knew, all right, boom, let's go in, let's do some deep dives, let's check some things. You can go to hashrate.io, and once you get on the site, there's a magnifying glass in the top right corner. You click that magnifying glass and you enter in your account number or your wallet address. Once you enter that in and just hit enter, it's going to pull a search. Now, right now, since the mainnet is down and the testnet is operational, the only way that you guys are able to actually see your balance is by going to hashrate.io. And what it's doing is it's pulling off of a mirror node that they use in instances like this. So if they ever have to shut down the proxies, people can still access their account balances to see exactly if their coins are safe, if they're gone, whatever the case is. That gives you the most up-to-date real-time data that they have on the Hedera network when things go down. So that is awesome. That means the company took time to act in a governing council. They actually took time to think things through to be able to still provide the service of a query, right? A search for everybody who invests or everybody who's on the network, even while things are down. So that's awesome. So that's one thing I definitely commend HBAR for. But what I want you guys to do is everybody who has HBAR, period. If you had any on your cold storage wallet, third-party wallet, because my Algo wallet was the wallet that was actually contaminated. That was the one that was hacked. That started all of this. So I want you guys to find your address, go to hashrate.io, click the magnifying glass in the top right corner, type in your address, hit search. Once you do that, it's going to pull up your results, and it's going to show you exactly what you have. It's going to give you a timestamp of the data of where they pulled it from. So that shows you that your data is up to date and that it's currently where it should be, right? Now, if it's not there, then you may have been affected. You'll have to do some more due diligence, but that'll all have to be done once the network and everything else and all the proxies have been fully turned back on. But HBAR, they've been doing an awesome job with signing up. You guys can actually sign up on HBAR on their Twitter account. They provide you guys with the status link where you guys can click to see the status updates in real time. So if they find anything or if they have an announcement to make to disseminate to everybody, you guys will get it in real time. And you can actually subscribe with your email address so that you guys can get it to your email the same time that they're posting it. They actually send them in real time. I got one earlier this morning.
So we had some feedback in our university Discord, and I suggested that everyone not purchase or attempt to move their HBAR. And when I say that, we had some people who have the Atomic wallet that are still showing their HBAR available, right? So it's not everywhere based on the intel that we have. But I wouldn't be making any purchases currently right now on any exchange to purchase HBAR or pulling things on and off if you have the ability to do that. But again, do your own research. I'm just telling you what I'm not doing. I can't do anything at the moment anyway because it's all showing zero. But if I did have a balance somewhere, I'm just going to sit tight at this point.
And let me say this. I just need to correct myself. I was saying hash rate. It's hashscan.io. So forgive me. It's hashscan.io. That's going to be your website. And if you guys wanted to join the status to see what it is, it's of course your
Well,
HTTP.
what we'll do is we'll just put that in the description of this video. So
Oh,
once we finish and the video is posted to our YouTube, you guys can go in and you'll have the direct links. But if you want to
absolutely.
just give them the website, that's cool too for now.
Okay. It's status.hedera.com.
Easy.
But we'll definitely drop it. So that's
Champ, this ain't bad for a first live, huh?
yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I actually like this, and I'm looking at the feedback, the output. It actually looks way clearer.
Yeah.
I like this.
All right, so we're gonna keep this under 30 minutes today. So I think we'll start doing a lot more of these lives. I don't see this news cycle slowing down, guys. So we'll probably, and it's a Friday too, right? Because Friday's gonna be the doomsday. Just so you know, like when they release the information, they're gonna do it like right before the banks, right at bank closing. So that way Saturday, Sunday, you're dead in the water. You know, it's next business day. At that point, you're panicking. Champ and I are working on the plan. What's the plan? It's just it's a story of how we got here, what happened in the past, right? When they went off the gold standard, what the United States has done to their citizens before, what other countries have done when their currency or fiat has collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
We're just entering this right now. This is this every 100 years, the currency has to collapse. So this isn't anything new. It's just new to us as a society. But because we're in the information age, there should be no reason why we're not fully prepared for this type of stuff. It's eerie that Champ and I have been talking about this for years, and it's actually coming to fruition. So I hate to be right, and I'm no champ also in this case,
Right.
because there's no clear winners when these big guys are doing this right now. So you got to figure when these guys are, when they can crush an economy or walk away from something, just know that they're going to be the guys to pick it back up again at a super discount. So they're going to mitigate their what we consider the loss now. They're going to gain it later when the economy gets back up and running again. So you know, creating problems, but they have access to capital. That's the difference. Once they take our money, it's like, all right, so what do you do now? You go back and you work harder. Like we're not amassing as much wealth as these guys are.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just hope this touches as many people as possible. And then just to reiterate, our community was not panicking yesterday, and we have a lot of investors, within the community, and the reason for it was because preparation, right? Champ able to mitigate, give the information in real time. So when you have a community of like-minded individuals, you don't have to turn to TikTok, Twitter, all these places where you just don't know how real the information is. So we were able to do all of this within 30 minutes, and this was in the evening. So with that said, if you're new to us, in the description, if after you watch this video, we have a ebook 101, right? That'll get you started. We also have a boot camp 101 that's probably the most robust training program you're going to meet in the crypto industry. But this is all part of the preparation. That boot camp is actually 50% off until March 12th. So we have a couple more days that we're running the sale. You have to be prepared, guys. I'm telling you, when you start to react, like I'm headed to the bank now, I'm already prepared to put an order in for my money, because this is what always happens at these banks. When I go in there, you ask for anything over $5,000 today, ask for anything over 2,500 and see if they don't pump fake on you. I've just never had to put in a real order because I put the massive pressure, right? But we're not all built the same. So if I need my bread, like now.
Absolutely.
Or you can go around to a bunch of different branches, right? Grab 2 here, 3 here, 5 here, and you can do that if your branch is, if you have branches readily available. What I plan to do is I'm moving away from these larger institutions. So I'm with Bank of America. I do have some smaller local ones, so I'm just going to kind of move funds to the smaller guys, who aren't so caught up in, the mixer. So if you're at Chase, Bank of America,
Wells.
yeah, just be careful, right? And at the least, just keep what you need in there, right? I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm just saying if you got a few bills that are on auto pay, feed that. We have a lot of fintech companies now, where you can kind of move money over in minutes. You got to figure out, and this is part of the plan. I've diversified. I have money in USDC. ready and waiting on the sideline for, good entries. Um, Gold, silver is another play, a hedge against this. If you own a business, maybe this is the time to plus up your marketing budget right now or reinvest in machinery. You just have to put this capital to work. Real estate is another asset. Warren Buffett is kind of a guy that's against the commodity gold situation because he's like, listen, if I have to sell it to make money, then he just doesn't like those sort of investments. And I could agree with that, right? So when I have my real estate investments, my units are actually paying me monthly. So I never have to like sell off my asset to make money on this. So that's giving me a solid return on a asset that I physically hold. So I love real estate, but the only problem with real estate now is when I plug the numbers in with this interest rate and how they're, you know, um, how these prices are. It's not making sense on paper. So I'm not looking to take massive losses right now just to protect some money, but it wouldn't be a bad hedge against it. Buying land, land banking. So the plan would kind of encompass all that, but I think the story is what the most important part is because history always repeats itself. So instead of panicking, these guys have done this before. That's the thing about bad actors. They always come back to the scene of the crime.
Mm. Yep.
It's classic.
And we are recession here, recession looming. You know, Great Depression before. We had these stock market crashes and collapses. All of it's just repeating itself.
Yeah, the only
And this,
difference now is they can't print any more money,
mm-hmm,
right? So buckle up, guys. And this ain't crypto winter, right? This is just the winter,
it's just the winter.
right? So don't let them kind of distract you. It's like, come on, the U.S. dollar's failing, and you're talking about crypto. Yeah, don't let them box you out of your position. For our university students, you kind of know what we mean by that. And if you're not part of university, I would urge you to get the knowledge from somebody reputable. Join our Discord. So all our socials will be on there. If you are new and you don't know who we are, and you like the information we just gave you, go to Discord. It's free to join. We do have a paid section, but go into the beginners chat and ask questions. They're all real live students. Ask them about their experience at the university and what we have to offer. Every link would be of our products would be in the description below. Champ, I appreciate your time today. And for
Absolutely, likewise, brother.
thank you for last night, right? Keeping everybody at bay. I was out having dinner and listening to music, and I'm like, I got a bag of a little bag,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. But in the moment, even as a teacher, it's like, what the fuck?
What's going on?
I'm on cold storage. I'm supposed to be out the way.
Yeah. But that was a great experience. So, it was definitely good. And they needed to see that as well, in real time, because these things are going to start to happen. Like these collapses, these projects, they're going to start crumbling, and is that they can easily sway you and mentally have that effect on you. So it's great that everybody that was there, nobody panicked. That was the most impressive part to me, that nobody panicked. Everybody was kind of in their position, in their self, and it was just like, okay, this is what's happening. What's the next step? And we were able to kind of mitigate it, find out exactly what was going on, explain it, have everybody check it. Everybody was made comforted. So that was cool.
And it's crazy because one of the things, the first thing I did was I went one in-house, and then once I left, I wanted to see what the sentiment was with the crypto world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see anybody posting what Champ delivered to the university in terms of, listen, let's just check the blockchain, right? Not one post. Everybody's like, oh, network crash. Oh, it's a hack. And they just left everybody stranded like that. So if you are following, Twitter news and stuff like that, guys, they can make it seem like the end of the world, as opposed to, taking a deep breath. And the first thing you do is always go to the blockchain and verify, because that's immutable. That can't be changed. So if your wallet was empty, just know that crypto's gone.
Absolutely.
It was breached. Now, what Hedera would do for that, if knowing the company and just being part of that journey for so long, I'm not saying they won't make right on it, but I don't see them like pulling a Terra Luna, and things like that.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of, that's an enterprise blockchain. Like, we technically have no business over there, but we play at a high level here.
And they just crossed over 8 billion transactions. They're not going anywhere.
And that's another thing. I told Champ, listen, the news cycle around crypto was all focused around Hedera. Bringing Dell on a couple weeks ago, the transaction news, right? Being listed in the top 30 new startup companies by Forbes magazine. So there's just some great highlights and information coming from there. So, of course, all eyes are on that network right now. All eyes are on all networks, but strap up, guys. Bitcoin, when Bitcoin drops, everything else tends to kind of follow it, and we're seeing that in the market today.
Absolutely.
Let's take them up.
All right, listen, man, it's been a pleasure. Glad we could bring this information to you guys. Again, this was our first live. We're definitely going to have more to come. So you guys stay tuned with us. We're going to have all the links in the description below, all the links to our products as well. So anybody interested, you'll have everything at your disposal. All right. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you guys soon.